It's great to see so many faces, actually see faces out there. I'm just bringing up some notes on my phone, so bear with me a second here. All right. So thanks for the introduction, and Jonathan, thank you for all your hard work that you've been doing. I think he needs a round of applause. This guy's out here day in, day out, chasing Lamont around. His front page of the Hartford Courant was the best front page of the Hartford Courant I've ever seen in my life. So bravo. So I am a lifelong Connecticut resident and business owner here in the state, or at least I was, or still trying to fight for my business. We produce consumer trade shows, and unfortunately we've had to furlough, lay off, whatever you want to call it, about 13 employees back in March. Incredibly difficult times for a lot of people here, and it doesn't make sense, right? I'm not going to go over statistics with the people in this audience because all of you know the statistics. That's why you're here. They don't make sense. I don't know about anybody out there, but I'm a numbers guy, and the numbers just don't add up. Until you start looking into our governor, and you start looking into his wife's hedge fund, Oak Investments. So there's a couple bullet points I'd like to talk that I find very interesting facts about those connections. Many of us know, it's been in the Hartford Courant, 2 separate articles, that through Oak Investments, they own a company called SEMA 4. SEMA 4, even before COVID, had received over $4 million in grant money from the state of Connecticut. What does SEMA 4 do? They just happen to test for the COVID virus. They received one of 3 or 4 contracts for the state of Connecticut and are conducting about 10,000 COVID tests per day. Rough math, $300 per test at 10,000. That's about $3 million a day that company is making. I had to do a little of my own research to find this out, but SEMA 4 raised $120 million in July, giving them a $1.5 billion evaluation. Where do the Lamonts lie in reopening the state? Do you think they care about our health, or do they care about their profit? So just to add to the list, they have a laundry list of COVID goodies. They own a company called One Medical that specializes in online doctor's appointments. Pretty good for a pandemic. They own a company called Precision Medical, who specializes in fast-tracking vaccines and pharmaceuticals, including a COVID vaccine. They own a company called Revolution Foods, who's a commercial meal supplier delivering food on a commercial level. And they also own a company called AEL, a regional provider of esoteric and clinical laboratory services, who of course test for COVID in 5 southern states. Over the past 6 months, the Connecticut Department of Labor has received 950,000 claims for unemployment benefits. In a state of 3.5 million, that's a staggering number. 3.5 million is the total population, not the population of people working. That represents a staggering number of unemployed people. Meanwhile, the Lamonts are probably making tens of millions of dollars through their hedge fund. Every time I hear the guy talk, we need more testing, we need more testing. I wonder why you need more testing, Lamont. I would say that a good majority of people in this house behind us are completely corrupt. They only care about themselves, their family and friends, and watching their bank accounts swell. The numbers don't make sense till you look at their investments and you see what they're really all about. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, because really here we're sort of preaching to the choir, we need to have compassion for those that don't understand this information. The media isn't telling people these things. The media has kept people in fear. And we, as people, I'm sure everyone here has been, oh, this is my daughter, Indy. You want to say hi? The media has kept people in fear, and there is no way for us to scream this information from the mountains because they censor us. The main news won't cover these stories. In fact, I think at one of the rallies here, there was 2 nurses, and the media said that the whole crowd that was with us was here for the nurses to not reopen the state. That's what our media does to us. So back to my point, we need to take the initiative to go grassroots. We can't, I'm sure everybody here has been censored or fact-checked on Facebook and online. We have to talk to people. I know it could be scary when we know that their views are so different than us. But the reality is, I happen to be in business of marketing and producing events. If we can't get our message out on the regular media, we have to use our voices and physically tell people. There's millions of people all across the world that are protesting right now. We have millions of people in Hong Kong, millions of people in Germany, tens of thousands of people in the UK. And they are all protesting these COVID restrictions and lockdowns because they know it is all BS. Again, we have to have compassion for these people because they are literally hypnotized by the media. People that don't have the strongest minds are going to believe whatever they're told repeatedly, again and again and again. These people truly believe they should be living in fear right now. So it's our job to spread this message. The media is not going to do it. Facebook is not going to do it. Do you think the Jeff Bezos of the world and the George Soroses of the world want us all coming together and spreading truth? They don't want it. They have us divided and they have us conquered. But the good news is people all over the world are waking up, and everyone here today is on the front line of that movement. But thanks. We have to have compassion for these people, and we have to use our voices and have those difficult conversations with people. I didn't really prepare an actual speech here, but I think what I want to summarize what's going on right now is good versus evil. It's that simple. We have the 1% of the 1% controlling the rest of us. These billionaires and multi-billionaires could solve all the world problems, yet they choose not to. Yet they choose to invest in vaccinations, in companies that harm and injure people with no liability. I think one of the greatest things I saw was at the health committee here in the state, we had 6,000 people, families and doctors giving testimony to our state officials about the dangers of vaccinations. And it still got out of health committee. And you know what that says to me? Those men are evil and corrupt. I want every one of you to do research on the people in charge of the Connecticut Health Committee, and you can see they are just as corrupt as our governor. Their allegiances lie to their millions that they stand to make off forcing things on us. I don't know about you, but that's why, right here. The government will never tell me what I can put on my body and inside my body and what on my child's body. We can defeat evil, but it's everyone out there's responsibility. We can't do it without your help. We need to see thousands of people here, tens of thousands of people here, people down past that waterfall there. But the only way it's going to happen is through your voice. They're not going to come from the mainstream media. We need to use our voices. We need to be on the streets. We need to hand out this information. They're not going to get it from the newspaper. They're not going to get it from the television station, and they're certainly not going to get it from Facebook. So we have to take the responsibility to be the change that we want to see. I thank you a lot today, and let's keep doing this.
So I want to thank everyone for coming to the Ned Lamont fan club. I did it again. Wrong meeting. Sorry about that. So we're on day 201 of a 15-day lockdown to stop the spread for a disease whose treatment protocol is available in 6 languages, and it's called the Math Plus protocol. It's day 201 for a disease that we have so easily managed, where there's more than a 99% recovery rate. And my condolences to the president for having come down with it, but statistically, he's good. He'll be fine. So this disease is so bad that Democrats and Republicans needed absentee ballots on demand, but libertarians had to go out and hawk signatures. Basically, the governor just rigged an election. But of course, you can't get a haircut, but your governor and your dog can get a haircut. So that's where we are. We're dealing with evil, folks. This is why we're here. We are Americans. We oppose evil. That's what that is. That's what that is. When package stores are essential and churches are not, that is evil. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, purple, or orange, or if you have gills and a trunk, that is evil. So that's where we are. 60% of the businesses that closed, they're not going to reopen. They're gone. And as far as this all being for our safety, I not only call foul, I call negligent manslaughter. Those ventilators killed people. We knew that in Wuhan. We knew that was the data coming out. And they couldn't rush those things out fast enough. They killed people negligently. And the people that figured out the Math Plus protocol, they figured it out. They showed their work. They said this is the wrong way to manage it. So what did we do? We had a CDC and a World Health Organization saying, don't use prednisone and anticoagulants. People died. Doctors had to figure this out. And you've got governors like Ned Lamont LARPing around like he's the commissioner of public health, and he killed people. He and King Cuomo drove COVID-19 into the nursing homes. Now, I don't need to be a doctor to tell you that is the worst thing you could possibly do with a brand new novel disease. I know, let's send it to the nursing home. You know, the place where C. diff and staph infections are already out of control? That's great. Grandma's gonna love how hard we're working to save her. Absolutely. This criminal should be removed from office. That's where we are. We just spent $6 trillion plus, guys. I'm running against the $6 trillion man, and he's part of it. 6 trillion of anything is a lot of anything. We could have had, every American could have had a level 4 biohazard suit for each day of the year, color-coded, and his or her own personal ventilator for $6 trillion. When you're spending $6 trillion, guys, there's something else going on here, and that something else is evil. All they're trying to do is bail out scamsters in Wall Street. That's all this is. The jobs numbers were bad before COVID showed up. COVID couldn't have showed up at a better time. Our pension fund was broken. And thanks to all this new reckless spending, Grandma might have survived COVID, but Medicare is gone in 2023, guys. I'm sorry, but anybody who's saying we can fix a problem of that size or we can just vote our way out of it, they're lying to you. And so this is the thing, we have to start telling the truth about where we are. So this is all stuff that they had laid out. This is all stuff that they always wanted to do, to track everybody, to shut down churches, to ruin families, to ruin communities. This has all been on a wish list before, and this is what they do. And it's been building up for 100 years, folks. You know, the last time we actually shrank spending was 1920. That's 100 years ago. That's a long time to keep printing the money and racking up the debts and taking away people's rights. So the truth of the matter is, we're here against evil. We're here against lockdowns, which are evil. these lockdowns hurt people bad, and somehow we're selfish. I'm somehow selfish. My kids live 1,600 miles away. Because of the travel restrictions, I have to sue the governor for a third time. A third time. I mean, I remember the good old days and we were just complaining about violations of just the regular Bill of Rights. Now we're in Article 1, Section 8, Section 9, and Section 10. I mean, you know, this is it, guys. We have to oppose evil with everything that we have and everything that we can do. The days of just sitting there and saying, the next election, you know, Party X can't do things until after the next election. You and I have a great thing in common as Americans, not just any one party, but as Americans. We're not waiting until the next election. We're not saying, give me another 2 years. We're doing everything we can right now because it's evil. Now, I know this governor says, science is on my side. I'm with the science. The science is settled. You know what's settled, Governor Ned? Religion is settled. That's what's settled. Science is a process. So if you go through a process and you impose all these crazy measures that screw up families, that turn people into alcoholics, that get people addicted to drugs, that lock people away from their church and their faith and their God, and you ruin families and businesses, and you do it when the spread is going down. You didn't make the spread go down. You've disproved the hypothesis. And everywhere they impose these stupid face cape mandates, the spread went up. You gave people another surface to touch. And it's showing up in sewers. That kind of tells you the mask is going on the wrong orifice. And I'm gonna make this very clear. I have openly and notoriously said, as a candidate of the United States for the United States Congress, come out here and find me, Ned. I will not comply. Now, if you will not comply, I want to hear you say, I will not comply. A little louder. I will not comply with evil, not now, not ever, not for any party, not for any risk of any election, because evil is evil and it needs to go. And now they're telling us we can't open without a vaccine. What do you mean a vaccine? You claim there's no immunity, there's a disease there's no immunity for? What kind of sense does that make? And that's why I'm not going to comply. And it's amazing because I've never seen so many Democrats in my entire life that are suddenly anti-vax just because Trump's in the White House. I got some news for you. It's the same manufacturers. It's the same media conglomerates pushing the vaccine. It's the same process. It's a scam before, it's a scam after. This isn't science, folks. This is evil we're being subjected to. And you know why it's really evil? 8,000 Americans will die today. And will die every day, and have died yesterday and the day before, in all 201 damn days of this illegal, unlawful, evil lockdown. And they die of things that are not COVID. And you know what? They didn't have the ability to, go visit grandma necessarily in the nursing home. Grandma didn't see her kids. I talked to one gentleman on the way back from one of my many picketing adventures, and he's like, I kind of agree with your sign, and I'm like, why are you sad? He's like, well, I got to see my mother before she died, but my brother flew out from Washington. He came to the nursing home, and there was just an automated message. Nobody was in the lobby because COVID. So he didn't get through to anybody, and his mother died. So that's what we did to 8,000 Americans. We can't go back and say, are bad. We can't go back and say, I'm really sorry. We can't write those Americans the millions of dollars which they would probably justly deserve for being wronged and evil in that way. And you know what? We do it because we all make excuses. We just say, let's wait until the next election, or this party this party that. This is a discussion about evil. And that's the kind of evil that's gone to the point where I'm gonna die a free man. I'll die in my boots any damn day of the week. And so will you, because I will not comply with evil. And we didn't choose to make the mask a political symbol. They did. They chose to make the face cape a political symbol. And I'm gonna tell them where they can shove that damn mask. And you can find me stupid. The king can come down here. The Libertarian Party and we voted as a state central committee to own this. We say, you know what? We're the organizers. Come get us. Come find us. Hire the lawyer you like the least, and I want my Tesla in green. The king may beat the rap, but he will not beat the ride. That is what we're about. That is what every red-blooded, freedom-loving, God-fearing American is about. It is about not complying with evil. It is about not making excuses. And if you want reinforcements, look in a mirror. No one political party will save you. We will save each other. And so, don't let anyone cop out. The time for just saying it should be up to people and ninning about, and some of the legislator excuses like, we've been shut out of the debate. Well, boo-hoo, cry me a damn river. You're in public office, do something about it. We don't have to wait to be in a public office. You know what I'm tired of? Not only evil, but when the busiest person on the face of planet Earth is somebody else. When the busiest day of the year is tomorrow or some point after some election. So thank you for coming out and standing with me and with each other against evil. And I just have to make it absolutely clear that I will not comply. What say you? We will not comply. We will never comply with evil and face capes and witchcraft, which is what this stuff is. So I haven't waited to take the fight to the governor. We'll be back in court again. And there you have it. I will not comply. Thank you.